Howdy, folks. Welcome back to more Colorado Rockies franchise. We have a tough stretch right here. These next couple of games, next 2 weeks, it's going to be maybe the most pivotal stretch of our season. We have Milwaukee, we have Detroit, we have Chicago, we have Arizona. What is that? 3, 6, 9, 12 games against teams that are roughly in the same record talent pool as us. Milwaukee is tied with us right now. Chicago, we're 2 games up on. Detroit, we would be 2 games up on if they were in the National League. And Arizona, we are 2 games up on. All 3 of these guys we are running through the wild card race with. Right now, we're tied with Milwaukee for that wild card spot. We'll take a look at the wild card second. Chicago has been turning it on a little bit. Last time we checked in, they were about 500. They've turned it on a bit the last couple of days. And Arizona, obviously, is trailing us both in the division and the wild card. And Detroit, just another team that's kind of just getting things going. We are 3 games behind the Padres. So not only are we trying to really do a good job here in the wild card, also have the Reds on our tail. Really, us, the Reds, the Brewers, all tied right now. Obviously, Reds have a couple more losses than we do, so I think we're a game above the Reds technically. But the Cubs are right there, the Diamondbacks right there, the Nationals are probably out of it. So right here, these 5 teams are all bidding for a spot, especially in the National League, where they have the Pirates, so their only hope is a wild card. We can still leapfrog the Padres. We're a little bit on the outside, but we're not dead yet in that regard. So let's just get into it. We have a really, really, really big final month, final push. Also, the American League wild card looking a little hectic as well. We really don't give a shit. But anyway, let's get into this game against the Brewers here coming up. So we just saw the wild card standings and where they stand, and no better time than now to go after that team that we are tied for from first place here in Milwaukee, taking on the Brew Crew. We are like a half a game above them, 75 and 66. They're 74 and 66, and we are trying to come out here and beat them and gain possession of that number 1, or keep possession of that number 1 wild card spot. And here's the standings. We just saw them, but here they are, flashed again. Cincinnati is right there with us too, and Chicago, Arizona right on the outside looking in. Chicago has are on a heater right now. We're sliding a bit. We're 3-7 in our last 10. Milwaukee, 4 of their last 10. And we got Richard Hong on the bump. 2 games. He's 1-1. This is the MLB's number 45 prospect coming into right when he was called up, and their number 1 guy. So this is a pretty big deal that they're calling up one of their youngsters in a huge series like this. And lead off the game, it's Stephen Kwan to say hello, friend, and put that one into left field and get on base for a lead-off single. Adele Amador a little bit later, the next batter, actually, against Hong, and Kwan is off and running. He does strike out Amador, but Kwan is in there safely. So we'll trade the out for the runner in scoring position, I guess. I think that's fine with me. And Hong trying to have to get through Nolan Jones for the first time. Nolan Jones rudely says, hello, sir, and that is going to be a Rockies lead all the way down there. And Jones thinking 3. He will be denied of 3. So he gets a double and the RBI. However, he does get thrown out going to third base, testing the Juan Soto, Jonathan India relay. And Soto and India come out on top. Jazz Chisholm pops this one up to left field, and that will do it for the inning. So we do score a run, and it is the Brewers' time to try to get their lick back here as they try to one-up us in the wild card. We got pitching Jesus on the mound. Bobby Blanco, 9-8 record. ERA just a little bit over 4. And it's Juan Soto grounding out to Amador to end the inning. Rockies keep a lead 1-0 here in September. Dominic Fernandez Tovar in American Family Field. Should still be Miller Park, but whatever. In the second inning, Jackson Churio, who's killed the Rockies this year, continues to do so. lands that one into right field, and he'll be on for a single. First base runner of the game for the Brewers, and Domine laying out, going to second base, and you don't need great defense at first base, but it's appreciated when you can get it. Todd Helton-esque from Domine. Doesn't swing the bat like Helton, but definitely fields it like. Had a runner on third there. Bobby White gets out of it with 2 outs, so a scare for the Rockies again, probably from small ball, ground balls, moving them around. And yeah, so we keep that run from scoring. And again, keep it at a 1-0 ball game. In the top of the fourth now, Yanquiel Fernandez lifts this one. Won a home run derby here just a little bit ago and banks it off the wall. Domine not quick enough to get home on that. And he will settle for a double. Tovar, however, will swing past the curveball, and that will be it. Hong gets out of the jam. 2 runners on. He strands in scoring position. And the Rockies still looking for their second run of the game after they came by the first one so easily. And we're through 4 now. Drew Romo in the 5th. Lays into this one. Perfect, they would say. And that one clears the fence. Drew Romo. Probably heard us talking about Josh Rubel taking a spot. He says, no. You didn't watch the last episode. Go check out our scouting report on catcher Josh Rubel and starting pitcher Jonas Grant. How about that? And here we go. Drew Romo, another switch hitting catcher with good defense, says, I got the power too, bucko. Don't you worry. 400-plus feet for Romo. Bryce Terang tries to get it by Domine, and you shall not pass. Tommy Domine wins the race to the bag and flashing some leather. Gold Glove potentially. Tommy Domine has had a way better season as our full-time first baseman this year. Obviously, the bat still getting there. We still would love to see some improvements with it, but obviously the glove is what it is. The bat hasn't been bad, and he's starting to turn a corner a bit, I think. Juan Soto, just the best hitter in baseball, and probably one of the best hitters in the last. And when I said this is what Jackson Chourio done to us this year, this is what I'm talking about. 1,100 OPS, 17 at-bats, but still. Can he come through for the Brewers here? Slider down and down, I guess. That's all it is, just down. Chourio gets another slider down. He can't put the same ball in the same spot. And Chourio puts it into the gap, has speed. He will settle for second base. And again, he's a hitter that's this good and has been that good for so long. You can't throw the same pitch back to back in the same spot. Just very silly. And Bobby White definitely had a mistake there. Jonathan India trying to make a mistake. We made a mistake coming up to the plate, not swinging the bat. Lets that one go by. Bobby Blanco fired up for sure. Love the evolution of his style over the years. And yeah, he's letting it all hang out. Not that 18-year-old we drafted anymore. Now in his early 20s, and he's already very seasoned as one of the youngest pitchers in the game to have that much experience. Nolan Jones against DL Hall. Hall can really sling it. This is going to be put into left field. Quan will hold up. Runners on the corners in the top of the 8th now, trying to get some insurance runs. Every run in this game is going to be vitally important, especially with how just important these games are. Jazz Chisholm puts it into center field. Chourio will be under it, but that will be deep enough to score the run, and Quan will come over and score. It's now 3-1 Rockies lead. Domine against DL Hall has the matchup. Does like hitting left-handed pitchers. This ball gets away. This pitch gets by the catcher Cuero, and that will move the runner up to second base. Now Domine has the runner in scoring position to work with. Hit would give us a 4-1 lead most likely. What can Tommy do in this situation? Jones at second base. The pitch is in and pitches back up the middle. Domine with a hit. Coming around to score will be Jones. No throw. And 4-1, Rockies pick up a couple runs on DL Hall here to increase their lead and give themselves a little bit more cushion. Can't leave that changeup in that spot. Command has always been the issue for DL Hall, and you see it right there, struggling with the command. Does get Yanquiel Fernandez that fastball inside, probably a defensive swing more than anything. does get the strikeout, however, and that will be it for that inning. Top 9, and Ezekiel Tovar, he's going the other way. 97-mile-per-hour fastball sent into right center field. Juan Soto will watch it go. You see, he doesn't get the best of reads off of it, and I don't know if that was the difference in a catch and a double, but it doesn't help. Ryan Barucki will come in, 3.79 ERA. Lefties hitting well against him, over around 400, and Stephen Kwan, one of the best lefty hitters as a left-handed hitter. He's going to go into second base. Throw would be on time, but just not off the mark. So Kwan luckily in there, and it'll make this a 5-1 ball game. 34th double of the season for Kwan. Again, pair that in where he's missed about 20 or so games. It's pretty good pace. Had 50 last year. Domine throws over to Bobby White, who is still in the ball game, working for the complete game. Won't get the shutout due to this man at the plate, Jackson Chourio, getting to him in the 5th inning, I think. Nolan Jones up against the wall in foul territory, put it away. Finally conquers Chourio Mountain. And now under 100 pitches still, 96th pitch of the day. India ropes it to left field. That's going to be a double. We have a little bit of a cushion. We're going to let White go out there and finish it up. But don't want to give too much life for the Brewers. You want to be able to nip them in the butt when you can, or the bud, I guess. Did you know that? It's nip in the bud, not nip in the butt. My whole life. Who would have not? Would have thought. I also thought they said good bless you, not God bless you when someone sneezed. So that's also that. Bobby White dropping some knowledge, dropping a curveball on him, and Domine, like he's done so many times today, makes a good defensive play, takes it himself, and that will be the ball game. We beat the Brewers. We needed to beat the Brewers. We need to continue to beat the Brewers and those other NL Central teams and those other NL West teams. We really just need to just keep winning. And they had a little bit turning to lose some games we shouldn't be over the last month or so. We really need to buck that trend here in September. And it starts off with a really big win against the team right on our tails in the wild card. Stephen Kwan, 3 hits out of the leadoff spot, multiple hit game from Jones and Domine. 11 hits total, 9 strikeouts total, 4 doubles, and the home run by Drew Romo. Bobby White, 9 innings, 6 hits, 4 strikeouts. He was awesome, lowers his ERA about 4.10. Literally 6 hits, and most of them came in the middle of the lineup. You have India, Chourio, and Soto getting to you. All 3 of those guys had a double, but it was great. Richard Hong pitched well, 6 innings, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. It was DL Hall and his 3 earned runs. I got you. We've gone through our big stretch right here, and we did not fare well. We lost the series against Milwaukee. We beat Richard Hong and the Brewers in Game 1 of that series. Lost the next 2. Detroit, we actually did pretty decent with. We won 2 games from them, lost this opener. We dropped 2 out of 3 from the Cubs, and we got swept by Arizona. So here is what the standings are looking like right now. We're now 3 games back. The Padres didn't do too well in that stretch either. The Diamondbacks have jumped up, and we're right behind them. So the Diamondbacks have jumped us. The Padres have stayed still, and we're still 3 games behind both of these guys. Right now, we're outside looking in on the wild card. We have 3-10 in our last 10 games. We did not have a great stretch. The Cubs, the Reds, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres all have jumped us in the wild card. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a very, very pivotal stretch right here. We have the Dodgers 6 times and the Cardinals 3 times. Good thing for us, they're 2 of the worst teams in the National League. If you look at the wild card, the Cardinals, I think they're the worst team in baseball. They are. The Dodgers, not much better. 70-83. That would make them 3rd worst in the National League. That would make them basically like a bottom 7 team in the league. So we have 2 bottom 7 teams. Let's see. We have 9 games left. If we can win 7 of them, get to 86 wins, I think that would be fun. Milwaukee and Arizona have to battle it out. They also have San Francisco and San Diego, so they don't have time to drop out. If we look at Milwaukee. They have Pittsburgh as well in New York, so they have some tough games coming up. Cincinnati, they have Pittsburgh, Chicago, and Cleveland, all pretty good teams in their kind of talent pool. So that's a big series to look out for San Diego. They have the White Sox, who aren't that good. They have the Dodgers, who aren't that good. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks. Look at what they've done this month. Lost the series against Houston. Lost the series against San Francisco. Split with Seattle. Lost another series with San Francisco. Lost to Detroit. So they haven't had the most success in September. They're having a little bit of a collapse too. Let's finish this out strong. So we know what we have to do. We talked about what we have to do. And we're not doing it right now against the Cardinals, a team that we are trying to pick up wins against. Against St. Louis and the Dodgers, we can pick up wins and keep ourselves from spiraling out of a playoff spot. And right now, 1.5 games out of a wild card spot from the last time we met. And here it is. It is Nolan Jones, 3-2. The Cardinals lead us here in the bottom of the 8th. He puts a charge into this one. Won't be a home run, but will score 2 runs most likely. Coming around to score is Amador for the 2nd run. And Nolan Jones puts us ahead of the Cardinals. We needed this game. Again, fighting for our lives right now. 1.5 games out of the wild card spot at the start of this game. And we could not lose to this lowly Cardinals team. And we finally get a big hit from Nolan Jones. Domine trying to add on, and we will. He goes into right center field. This will roll up against the wall. This will score Jones easily. And payday Domine into second base with the double. You love to see that. His 19th of the season. 2 outs now. Brendan White in the game and blows it by Ezequiel Tovar. And Tovar will go and take a seat. And we do pick up a couple runs. It is now 5-3 as we end the 8th inning. And now our closer is going to come out for the 9th. Calderon, come finish this one for me, Poppy. And he gets the dramatic entrance as most closers do. Come slam the door, why don't you? Would love to see a win here. You know how he's been. Has blown 8 saves this year. ERA creeping up to almost 4, and lefties really killing him. Jet Williams watches that ball go by. Strike 3. Ivan Herrera gives a swing. Strike 3. Gavin Cross, 2-0 count. Pop up, Chisholm under it, and we do come back, and we do win when we're supposed to, and that is going to be the win for the Rockies. We avoid embarrassment. Again, the Cardinals right on our heels, or not right on our heels, but we are right on the heels of everybody, and losing to the Cardinals would not have made that easy pill to swallow. We needed to pick up that win. We lead the series against the Cardinals 1-0. Pick it up in the 3rd game in the series, and again, we are down. Tony Santillan on the mound for the Cardinals. And we're looking for the sweep. Nolan Jones, did we get it? No, not quite. Nolan Jones fouls that one right by the foul pole. We cannot quite get the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. This will go up the middle, though, and that will be a base hit. So we stay alive either way. Fine by me. Okay. Nolan Jones gets a base hit. Brings up Jazz Chisholm. Can Chisholm have some magic? He loves it, and he will absolutely demolishes that slider. You can't throw it there. Man, walk-off home run. Coors! Jazz Chisholm, 456 feet. There's 36 on the season. We complete the comeback again against the Cardinals. Could have been disastrous, but with 2 late inning rallies, we do end up sweeping the lowly St. Louis Cardinals exactly what we needed. We needed to stay alive. We needed to win these cupcake games at the end of our schedule. And so far, 3-0. Like I said, 7-2. We're looking at the wild card standings. 3-0. 1-3 against the Cardinals needed. Look at this. Look at this. We are coming up 3 games left. Still have our last series against the Dodgers. We have come to play. I said we needed to win 7 out of these last 9. Well, we have won 5 out of the first 6. But even then, we need to win the next couple of these guys. We cannot afford to lose really any of them. We just have to win. It's just simple as put as that. Back to the standings. Right now in the West, it's us, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres. We are a game behind these two. I think the only way we win, because I think these guys are playing each other, the only way we win the West is if we sweep. And even then, I'm not and they have to go, one of these teams has to win 2 games out of 3. I don't know if we have a tiebreaker over one or the other. Actually, let's check our calendar. Let's see who we've placed. Arizona, well, they swept us here. So that's 0 for 3. Arizona. So make it, we have 2 out of 4. Arizona, nothing in July. In June, we did not play the Diamondbacks. In May, we did not play the Diamondbacks. We played them here. So they should have the edge over us. In terms of San Diego, we split here. We're 2-2 there. And then we're 4-3 now on the season. June. We did not play them in July. We did play them in August, where I think we have the edge over San Diego. I could be mistaken. So we need San Diego to win 2 out of these 3 games. And it looks like it's best on best here going on. So we'll take a look at them as well. Heading into this final game. Actually, let's see it. Let's go through it right now. San Diego wins. We lose. So now that's it. We're out of the division, I believe. I guess technically it's a 2-game elimination number. All right, let's take another game. Let's look at their game one more time. Shout the Yard Goats. Ooh. Juan Guerrero's back. Going to activate him. Okay. So 86. Okay. So we're 85 and 76. They are 86 and 75. So we cannot win the division. We have just figured that out. We cannot win the division. One of these guys will win. It'll be over us. I think mathematically we want the Diamondbacks to win the division. So then we would have to win this game against the Dodgers. We lose this game against the Dodgers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we lose this game against the Dodgers, we might be out. Beat the Dodgers, we're in. If the Diamondbacks win, then we should jump over the Padres. We'll have to see what the Reds and Cubs do. Who are they playing, respectively? Reds are playing the Cubs. So it's going to be interesting to see what this final game of the season. So let's jump right in and watch this final game of the season, and then we'll see what everyone else did afterwards. Here we are. Last game of the season against the Dodgers. Did the math again. I believe we win. We're in. We will be looking at the Reds and Cubs game as well as the D-backs and Padres game. Those are going to be important games for us to watch, because not only if we lose this game, we could get some help, but it's a hodgepodge there. We're looking for that third wild card spot. We'll see if we can get it again. If we win, we should be in. We dropped the second game of the series. We did win the first game of the series. And here we are, Shane Bieber coming into Coors Field. We got Bobby White on the bump as well to kind of get us into the postseason. We need it. And we have one of our best out there to try to get it for us. Shohei Ohtani, to end the inning, gets struck out on the changeup down and away. And Shohei goes down. And Bobby White picks up a big strikeout to start the game. Exactly what we needed. And we keep the Dodgers scoreless. On the mound for them will be Shane Bieber, former Cy Young Award winner. 4.13 ERA this year. Going to eclipse 200 pitches most likely in this game here. And it's been very solid, consistent eights after coming back from multiple elbow surgeries, multiple arm surgeries. I don't like that he's pitching against us, but I like to see Shane Bieber doing well. Stephen Kwan up the middle to lead off the ball game for us. He picks up a single. Love to see it there. Nolan Jones, 284 batting average. We have 2 on, no out. Nolan Jones, chopper to second base. They'll get the out at second base. C.J. Abrams not quick enough to turn 2. So runners on the corners brings up Jazz Chisholm, leading us in OPS at just under 900. And trying to do some damage here. Trying to stay out of the double play. Can he do it? And Jazz has grounded into multiple double plays before. Hopped into the air. Will this be deep enough to score Kwan? I think it will be. Outman's under it. Tosses into Abrams. He tosses it into the catcher rushing. And that will be a run for the Rockies. We score first. Yanquiel Fernandez trying to keep the inning alive. He's going deep. He's going left field. Going back is the left fielder. Back. And Pages, I believe, is there to put it away. So we do score 1. That is all we get. Almost get a pretty big hit by Fernandez. And that is going to do it. Colorado trying to keep Outman and the Dodgers at bay. First pitch just misses for ball 1. Second pitch into right field for a double. Jones gets to it, hung up on the wall. Outman's actually going to try to stretch it into 3, and he will. So I spoke a little too soon. That would be a leadoff triple for James Outman, his 9th of the season. Dalton rushing on the ground to DeVar. This will be enough to score the run and tie the ball game up. And that will be a 1-1 game after rushing picks up the RBI. Bottom of the second inning, Tommy Domine crushes this one. Fastball into the seats. Domine puts us up 2-1. And right now we're getting our first game update. It is the Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds. Cubs up 9-0 in the 5th as of our bottom of the second. So Cubs, looks like they're going to take care of the Reds in this one. And we need that. Cubs already ahead of us. Let them go. Reds below us. They need to lose. I would love to see that game continue in the trajectory it's going. Runner's going to come home. Kwan doubles. Stretched into a triple. He will. A triple deep into the corner for Stephen Kwan. His 6th of the season. And that will be it. No, that won't be it, but that will be a 3-1 game now as we add another run to our total and just got in front of the line. Love to see that. Amador trying to make it a 4-1 game. He won't. Cutter down and in on him. And that will be it for the inning. We do add a couple runs, and we are leading 3-1. In the 6th inning of the Padres game, they are up 6-1 against Arizona. Again, I believe we want Arizona to win. I think we have the tiebreaker over the Padres. I forget. We heard the scenario in the recaps of the wild card standing, so we know what we want. And that's a great play by Trey Sweeney as Nolan Jones robbed the hit. No one's going to rob this one, though. Jazz Chisholm cours deep into right field over the foul pole, and Jazz Chisholm touches them all. He's approaching 40 now. That one went 480 feet for 37 home runs. I believe a new career high for Jazz Chisholm in the home run department. Absolutely clobbered that one. Just wow. You don't hit balls up there too often. You really don't. James Outman continues his terrorist tour against Bobby White. Smacks one off the out-of-town scoreboard. The throw comes in from Nolan Jones, however, and the throw from Amador gets Shohei Ohtani at the plate. Wow, what a throw from the relay squad of Jones and Amador. And we pick up the out at home plate. Love to see that. And Mookie Betts, grounder to Tovar. Tovar don't get enough on it, and that's probably an out if Gorman was playing to the bag, but obviously the steal had to bring him off the bag. So watch this. This ball puts right where Gorman was standing. You see him darting to the bag to cover for the steal later. And Domine, we've seen him make so many plays, and that's the one we kind of needed him to make, and he can't. That one goes into right field, and that will be a single for the Dodgers. Inning continues. Gorman picks it up to second, to first in double play, and they get out of the inning. So one comes across the score, but that is all. That is fine. A bulky inning, a choppy inning for the Rockies, but that is okay. An update for you now as we're in the 7th inning. The Cubs are up 9-2 against the Reds. They are in the 8th inning, and they actually have now solidified that win in the 7th. As we're in the 7th inning, they've solidified that win 9-2, and the Padres have beat the Diamondbacks 11-3. While we're giving you good news, Jake Rogers delivers bad news. 2-run double down the line, brings in 2 runs, ties this ball game up, and now we are just searching. And I think with the Reds losing, it kind of solidifies us. They were a half a game behind us coming in, so we just need to win. Win and you're in at this point. Bobby White will be taken out of the game. He's getting cooked a little bit here, and we want to save him, or don't want to let this game get out of hand, or treating this like a playoff game as we should. And Garrett Crochet will come in, try to lock things down. A bunch of lefties at the top of this order coming up, and we want Crochet in there. Since we got him from Boston, he's been pretty good. CJ Abrams on the ground. Amador scoops it up, fires back to first, and we keep any more runs from crossing. Good job by Crochet and the defense, but Jake Rogers haunting us, teasing us. Hate it. Hate to see it. Tommy Domine up in the 7th, and he gets the lead right back. Tommy Domine, signature game when we needed it the most. Payday Domine. He goes deep for the second time this year. 12 home runs. And we needed 11 and 12 from him so bad today, and he delivers. We pick up the lead again. Look at the net for the nerds. Coors for the nerds. They're your StatCast by Google Cloud. Not sponsored. Stephen Kwan, he's going deep. A batter later, or 2 batters later, and he makes this a 6-4 ball game. 2 home runs in the 7th. Getting to the bullpen of the Dodgers, and we are now on a roll right now. Gavin Stone cannot believe it. Let up 2 meatballs. I love it. We got the bad news, or we got the news. We know what everyone else is doing. We just have to shore up what we have going on, and we are doing just that. Gregory Soto is going to come in with a couple lefties up next, trying to minimize this bleeding, minimize this damage. Stop it if he can. And he has Adele Amador to face off against first. Amador, he goes deep and foul on the sinker. Amador 2 for 3 on the day, has been instrumental for our season. We gave him a bag for it. And he is someone we cannot wait to have long-term for on this team. And he delivers again. Core slider, left high. You can't throw it there, man. Home run by the Rockies. That one was absolutely crushed. Back-to-back, 3 in this inning alone. If it wasn't for, I believe, Drew Roma, it would have been back-to-back-to-back-to-back already. Amador, 445 feet, 106 off the bat. You love to see it. Nolan Jones, you're up. What are you going to do? He's going to go deep. No way. 4 home runs in the last 5 at-bats. Coors. Ring the Coors bell. Drink a Coors. It's cold as the Rockies, brother. Nolan Jones, absolutely sensational. This Rockies lineup is going off right now, exactly when we needed them to. This is fantastic, and with that onslaught in the inning, Domine is going to close it out, and the Rockies win. The Rockies are going to the playoffs. We tried our best not to. September was not kind to us. We needed to hunker down and win in those last 2 weeks of the season. We did. And we did it big here on the last day of the season. Needed this so bad, and we got it. That is a win for the boys back home. We win the series 2-1, elevate to the 85, 86 wins on the season, and we are going into the postseason yet again. 12-hit day for both teams. We just scored more runs, and that's it. Doubles by Rogers, Pages, and Outman. RBIs by Rogers and rushing. James Outman also had a triple. Shane Bieber pitched okay, and then Stone and Soto got lit up. Dylan Lee and Trevor Rogers finished it off. 3-hit day for Kwan, 3-hit day for Amador, 2-hit day for Domine, and a bunch of 1-hit days sprinkled in. 8 runs come across to score, 5 strikeouts. Home runs by Domine, 2 of them. Then Jones, Amador, Chisholm, and Kwan all had home runs today. Bobby White, 6 2/3, 9 hits, 4 earned, and our bullpen came in. So we did end up making the playoffs. We'll be taking on the Diamondbacks in the first round, a rematch of the NLCS from last year. Let's see how the rest of everything shook out as the regular season has come to an end. This is how it all played out in the West. Again, the Padres won against the Diamondbacks, and then we won that wild card. So, like I said, the Diamondbacks have the wild card 1 spot. We have the wild card 2 spot, and the Cubs secure the wild card 3 spot when they beat the Reds. So the Cubs beat the Reds. The Diamondbacks lost to the Padres. We took care of business. If we lost that game, it would have been between us and the Reds. Again, there's no game 163 anymore. I'm curious, how did we fare against Cincinnati this year? Did not play them in September. I don't believe we played them in August. We did not. We got swept by them in a 4-game series in July here. And then we took 2 out of 3. So we probably don't make the playoffs. I believe they have the tiebreaker over us. I believe that's how it works. Again, still intrigued to see how. I still don't know how the hell this thing works. No game once. We went 7-3 in our last 10. We went 7-2 in those 9 games that I said we needed to go 7-2 in, and we just barely prevailed with all of that. Again, we have the Diamondbacks on deck. All 3 wildcard spots had the same record. Padres and the Pirates win their divisions, and the Phillies win the National League East. American League, Royals, Rangers, Guardians, with the Athletics and Tigers being the odd teams out. And look at this. The Orioles clinched the division with a sub-500 record. Oh, boy. Astros win in the West handedly. Twins win in the Central decently handedly. And then again, this American League East that absolutely blows Orioles end up taking care of business there. All right, now that we know the playoff bracket, it's going to be us in Arizona. San Diego takes on Chicago. Our pool will play Pittsburgh, whoever wins there. San Diego, Chicago will play Philadelphia, whoever wins there. The American League side, Kansas City, Texas battle out. They'll play Houston, whoever wins. Baltimore, Cleveland will go in a 3-game series. They will face Minnesota, whoever wins. Now let's check out our minor league stats. Our stats just wrap up this season. Now as we wrap up 2029, let's take a look at our minor leagues. And as always, we start in Double-A. And this year, some of the notable performers we had in Double-A. David Howard, Lauren Parker, Winston Estrada, and Robert Cairo all led us in OPS. Gabriel Rodriguez, also had an OPS over 760. For Cairo, his first season in pro ball, I think he did absolutely fantastic. Our first round pick last year, in 2028. 416 slugging, 269 average, 36 stolen bases. He hit at the top and at the bottom of the lineup. He was awesome. 9 home runs, so the power's coming along. He had a great amount of stolen bases. Super amount of doubles. I think he was tops in the league. The strikeouts to walks are actually in a decent place for what he was. And if we're going to sort by WAR, he was our second most valuable player. Our most valuable player in terms of WAR was Leland Metzger. He had a 3.1 WAR. We've talked about him before. He's just steadily moving up, and might be close to big league ready. 30 doubles, 4 triples, 6 home runs, 41 stolen bases, a good triple slash line, and overall a pretty good season for him. Rodriguez, he did fine at third base. Josh Rubel, who we talked about shortly, not too long ago, I should say. 15 home runs, 49 RBI in a pretty positive season. OPS still above 730. It's just the strikeout numbers, 104 to 29 walks. We want to get that a little bit better. Some other notables. William Kim struggled a bit this year, hitting 228. David Bike, as the backup catcher, did well at a 1.1 WAR in his limited time. Lauren Parker actually showed up pretty good. 15 doubles, 17 home runs, 81 strikeouts, 51 walks. So he's not all power, nothing. Also stole 16 bases for some reason. We sent him 27 times. But a great triple slash line and culminates into a positive WAR. 11 errors plus those caught stealings. Didn't get a whole bunch in terms of value in the fielding or the base running departments, but just an overall very solid bat after a tough season or two. William Kang struggled. David Howard had a really solid season at the plate. Obviously, defensively, kind of brings him down in terms of the WAR category. But 11 home runs, 24 doubles, 50 RBI, 100 strikeouts, 16 stolen bases. Great triple slash line. Our best triple slash line. Had a really solid season. Fred Gerber, maybe the one disappointment we had on the team. He batted okay. Everything seems like it's progressing nicely. And Derek Connolly, who actually had a very good start to the season, ended up having a -1 WAR. In the pitching side of things, we don't see Henry Manuel here because he did move up to AAA at the end of the season. But he ended up having like a sub-2 ERA. He was by far and away the best pitcher we had in any of our organizations. Charlie Soto, 12 wins. David Moore, 11 wins. And Jose Ornelas out of the bullpen, 10 wins. Again, kind of moving down. Some guys were. 171 innings pitched for David Moore, who was there all season long. ERA Prosecki in just 9 innings, a 1.86. Mark Marbury, who actually ended up hurting himself a little bit. I think it was... he's back now, but I think he had a shoulder issue. Shoving in Double-A in his limited time there. Victor Vodnik was great. Moore at 2.78 ERA, which was fantastic as well. Caruso was great. We had a lot, just like we've seen in our Double-A before. Just a lot of super solid, awesome pitching performances down here. 15 quality starts for David Moore. He went the complete game shutout twice along with Caruso. What other stats do I want to look? 3.8 WAR for Ornelas, a 3.3 WAR for Soto, 3 for Sutton and Caruso, and 2.3 for David Moore. 4.82 strikeouts, not great. 3.09 walks per 9, okay. But let's check out the FIP numbers, see who was outperforming or kind of close. Tim Moyer got a little bit unlucky. Everybody else seems like their whips and the ERAs and their FIPs are pretty even. I think David Moore, the luckiest pitcher we had this year. Him and Jonas Grant. In terms of league leaders, here's how we stood out. David Howard and Lauren Parker in the top 10 for batting average. Robert Cairo and Metzger in the top 8 for hits. Cairo again in at-bats. Cairo led the league in doubles. Metzger behind him by a few. Cairo led the league in triples. Parker is third or second technically in home run. DJ Stewart is right there. He's like the only big leaguer that you see on the top of this list. Josh Rubel also there at 15 home runs. Lauren Parker in there in RBIs. Cairo scored the most runs with Connolly actually behind him, and Connolly ended up kind of losing his spot halfway through. He played 125 games, whereas Cairo played 134. So 10 more games, maybe Connolly's actually up there towards the top. Again, we love stealing bases, and Metzger and Cairo really good at stealing bases. They led the league up near the 40s. Cairo also up there in walks, with Fred Gerber also getting a good amount of walks too, so you'll like to see that. On base, Howard and Cairo. Slugging percentage, Howard and Parker. And OPS, David Howard and Lauren Parker were our team leaders and represented the top 8 of the league. Pitching side, David Moore had 6 losses, which was good for some of the best in losses, so didn't have a whole bunch. Alfred Marino, after an year, 22 saves still. Sutton, 10 home runs allowed. That was one of the top lows. Moore and Caruso with those complete games shutouts, and more in there for innings pitched. Walks allowed. We had some guys that's not giving up a bunch of walks, and David Moore led the league, or was 6th in the league in AA in WHIP. All right, for AAA, as we know, AAA is kind of just the middle ground. Really, all of our top prospects love to live in AA. So here's who everyone was performing in AAA. Jordan Nwogu, really, really solid season. 294 average, 860 OPS, 17 home runs, 28 doubles. A guy that we gave consideration maybe getting the call this year. He might be one of those guys battling for that 4th outfield spot in spring. 3.4 WAR. Love to see it. Khalil Watson got his cup of coffee in the major leagues this year, but has 5 home runs and was really decent here in AAA this year. Maybe his experiment is running out. Maybe we try to flip him because I don't know if he's going to have a spot on our roster. He might be a trade piece coming up. Michael Arroyo, a 2.1 ERA, a minor league free agent signing. Deshaun Knowles, Trey Morgan, Tyrone Garinger. I want to talk about Garinger. He's a guy that might be getting a roster spot with us. He just hits, man. He is hitting every single level. He's not going to hit for too much power. What is this? 26 extra base hits, 10 of those being home runs. But look at those walks. Look at the strikeouts. Steals bases for some reason. 797 OPS, highlighted by an average that's around 300. He is quickly figured out AAA, and he might be pushing himself into a major league spot pretty soon as a bench back. 14 walk rate, 18 K rate, just absolutely incredible. And this is all at DH. Did not have a single inning in the field because he's not good in the field. 1.5 WAR, you love to see it. Colin Barber, he struggled. Most of this production, the WAR production, is with the glove. Ralphie Velasquez was down here, and then some just more guys who are minor league depth, really. And our pitchers, and this has a little bit more of a standing with us, as we do have some pretty decent pitchers down here. Fernando Benitez actually just broke his forearm in his last start of the season. This is what his full age 23 season looked like. Pretty good. He is on the 40-man. He'll be looking for a bullpen spot for us in this upcoming season. Chris McMahon, depth great. Rafael Parra, he got a taste of major leagues, played in 19 games for us, so he still has rookie eligibility. 24 years old, will be 25 next year. Another guy looking for a bullpen spot, maybe even a starter spot. He is that good. one of our best prospects, and did a real good job working on just not allowing too many hits. 118 hits, 138 innings here in AAA. That was 42 in 36 innings. So is that 42 plus 118 is math. 138 plus 36 is other math. I think he has more innings pitched than hits allowed. I believe so. And just was overall solid. On top of that, 8.26 Ks per nine, a FIP at 3.55, just really solid overall, really good. Gunnar Hoglund depth as well. These guys mostly just minor league free agents that are filling in depth-wise. Brandon Barea had a really solid season down here in AAA. Did get some run in the major leagues, but did not pitch very well. A 7.75 ERA. Again, he will also be in that discussion. We have an option left on him. He'll be in that race to maybe get traded, maybe again add on to our pitching next year. Doug Kroger, a relief pitcher we have. He was absolutely fantastic. He might be breaking into camp next year. 45 saves, was awesome to see. Dominic Knox, incredible. Holden Powell, great. Antonio Menendez, fantastic. Evan Justice, okay. And Henry Manuel did have incredible AA stats. Again, like sub 2 ERA and AA, absolutely killing it. 4.91 ERA and a couple of starts here. But he is another guy who is just progressing very, very nicely. He probably needs another year or two of seasoning in the minor leagues. Here are the league leaders in AAA, and we have Garinger Nwogu at the top of the batting average list. Arroyo and Nwogu in the hits. At bats, Michael Arroyo played basically every game this season, so he accumulated a whole bunch of bats. Nwogu, 7th in doubles. Arroyo, 1st in triples with our spacious ballpark we have there. No one in home runs. RBI, Nwogu came 2nd. Runs, Arroyo and Garinger in there. Stolen bases, Tyrone Garinger as well up there, which is awesome to see. Russell Brandon, a guy that we've seen for a couple years. He might be ready for the Astros this upcoming season. He's going to be interesting to watch out for. Walks, Garinger led it. On base, Garinger led it. Slugging, Nwogu was 2nd. OPS, Nwogu 1st. Garinger was 4th. Wins, you have a lot of major league guys. And you have Nick Frazi on the bottom for us at 13 wins. Saves, we had Doug Kroger had 45. Cody Hoyer at 49, so that's a major league level talent who has not pitched in the major league since 2021. What an interesting career, just harbored by injuries. Maybe we actually look to add him potentially as a bullpen guy. I really do like Cody Hoyer. Maybe he's a guy we add. Who knows? The home run per nine would play well in Colorado, just saying. Also, Dominic Knox had 27 saves. So we combined had 72 saves, which is absolutely crazy. I want to check to see how many wins we had in AAA. 72 saves is nuts how close games we played, apparently. Home runs allowed. Fran Benitez did a good job limiting those. Hoglund had a couple shutouts. Strikeouts, Benitez and McMahon were in the top 8 in that. Innings pitched, nobody. And walks allowed, nobody. Whip, nobody. So that is just a look at our minor leagues, AA, AAA. And again, just want to see 74 wins, 72 of them we had a save in it. That's kind of nuts. All right, this is how our season shook out statistical-wise. Broken down by WAR, our WAR leader was Stephen Kwan. We had 3 guys with a 4+ WAR. Stephen Kwan, a 5.7 WAR, 38 doubles, 14 home runs, 58 RBI. Did get hurt a little bit. Has basically been a 135 to 145 game per year guy. So we got hurt a little bit, but kind of has produced the same amount. And again, very similar stats to last season. A lot less doubles, but some more home runs. The slugging actually went up because of it. An 8.27 OPS and 15 stolen bases. You will take that. Jazz Chisholm Jr. Every single year, it seems like he's setting new career highs. Elevating the bar in each stat. New career high in home runs and RBI. Almost did it in walks. cutting down on the strikeouts a little bit. 899 OPS, his best mark on a season, best slugging mark in a season, and one of the top averages he's had. This guy was an MVP guy all season. Just absolutely clutch. Walking a decent amount, striking out still a good amount, but again, he's been incredible. Dale Amador, career year for him, a 4.6 WAR, 27 home runs, 44 doubles, 168 hits, 93 runs. This is a guy who's earned every bit of that $150+ million contract. Just did it all. Career highs across the board. RBIs, walks, home runs, doubles, hits, runs, average, on base, slugging, OPS, just every single spot he improved in. Actually didn't have as big as a WAR last year due to just being a little bit more iffy in the field, but walking more, striking out less, everything you want from a guy who's still ascending. Nolan Jones had a Nolan Jones-esque year yet again. 2027 was tough, but every year Nolan Jones has come in and produced. Almost a career high in home runs. Did it in RBI. Walking a good amount. Striking out actually considerably less than, a year where he had 170 in 2025. An 885 OPS. Second best mark since I've been the GM here, which is lovely to see. And again, just an absolute stud for us. Went back into the outfield and just crushed it. Nolan Gorman had his ups, had his downs. Did not put an MVP season up, but still had a pretty solid season. 762 OPS. Again, things are down from his MVP season, but more in line from the seasons we've seen him have before. Zeke Tovar, he got hurt to begin the year, so didn't even play 100 games and was okay in those 100 games. Definitely not what we've seen from him in Colorado the last few years, a down year, but he was hurt, still provides really good defense and gives us that WAR production. Yanquiel Fernandez, another guy, just keeps raising the bar. It seems like he is good for 30 plus home runs, anywhere between 90 and 100 RBI every single season. He's going to bat in like the 240s, 250s, going to have an OPS, in the 800s. It's just been him, and he continues to do that. Domine, a tough season. It seems like he was hurt a little bit too this year. Only 12 home runs, but 2 of those, the most important home runs he's had. A better season than what he had last year, for sure. But still looking for that breakout. Still only 21 years old. I think we forget that. I'm not regretting this big contract we gave him. We have another option year in case we need to use it. But he has been fine. Obviously, elite defense at first base. He's not striking out a whole bunch. I mean, he's a guy who's going to put ball in play. That's just going to be rewarded sooner rather than later. We're going to have a year where he's hitting 280 with 15 to 20 plus home runs pretty soon. I can feel it. Benny Montgomery was all right. Ralphie Velasquez was all right. Mark Winchester was all right. Sterling Thompson or Heriberto Hernandez. After Domine here, just some of the other guys that that we had on for our season. Benny Montgomery, backup outfielder. Mark Winchester, he was all right coming up halfway through the season, or towards the end of the season against lefties. And Sterling Thompson's okay off the bench, and Juan Guerrero hurt for a good amount of the year. Drew Romo, 1.5 WAR, actually had a pretty solid offensive season until it petered off towards the end, but back as the primary catcher after last year. Kind of put together a similar production to his 2027. A little bit better OPS, but still not fantastic for a guy that we're probably moving on from after he's done with arbitration. Pitchers. It was interesting. It was a weird year for our guys. We had some moments where we were cruising, had some moments where we just were lacking. James Moore ended up pacing us in WAR with a 3.6. A way better showing than his first year with us. 196 innings pitched, 222 strikeouts, absolute goon. 1.33 WHIP, 10 plus Ks per nine, but FIP actually better than his ERA. So he had himself a pretty solid season. Bud Leonard, a 4.30 ERA, 210 strikeouts, 194 innings, 14-8 record. He was pretty solid. Those home runs continue to be a little bit of an issue. 27 this year. 19 quality starts, 9.71 Ks per nine, a career high. Did give up a little bit more walks than last year. Giving up home runs actually at a little bit better pace, but that FIP was up a little bit. But again, his FIP numbers have been a lot better than his ERA numbers, so another solid season from him. Jesus Luzardo, our ace, our guy, a 3.30 ERA, the best ERA he's had in a Rockies uniform. 156 strikeouts, 14 wins, and it's about 200 innings pitched for us. 18 quality starts, a couple of shutouts, 7 Ks per nine. Again, he's a guy that's not going to strike out a whole bunch. His FIP was actually higher than his ERA by a decent amount, so he got a little bit lucky compared to his FIP numbers and ERA numbers. Bobby White, another guy, 2.4 WAR, FIP of 4, and an ERA just a little bit over that. Striking out guys considerably less this year, but also walking less and giving up less home runs. So maybe being more of a nibbler, and that's actually coming out to be a little bit better from 156 strikeouts and 182 innings. That's 30 less strikeouts just about, and about the same inning production from year to year. But he gave up less hits in that time. A couple more runs, but two less home runs, a lot less walks, but that comes with a lot less strikeouts. So it's interesting. Does Bobby White become more of a finesse pitcher? Obviously, he has strikeout potential. We've seen him strike out, about 9 per inning last year. We'll have to see from him. And J.J. Rose, our last guy who's been in the rotation basically all year. 13 losses. Did have that no-hitter, which is pretty sick. 187 strikeouts and 176 innings pitched, but an ERA closer to 5. 13 quality starts. As the home runs jumped up a little bit on him, but the FIP was still good. So a lot of these pitchers are saying, hey, your FIP is okay and a lot better than what we're seeing. But that's just kind of what our starters did this year. Mixed bag, but I think I'm still very confident going in the playoffs. Vinny Garcia, punch-out machine in the bullpen. Bo Brisky, he was awesome too. Roger Calderon, he had 45 saves and about 55 tries. So he did blow a couple of saves, but a way better ratio, 45-9, other than the 11-6 he had last season. Added up with a 3.92 ERA. I'll take it from him. Andre Palante, a guy we traded for, he was okay. Gregory Santos was great for us this year. Dan Wyatt was fine. Pretty good in his rookie season. Garrett Crochet ended up having a pretty good stint with us. And Riley Pint, pretty solid as well. Look at the FIP numbers. Palante, a 3.3. Vinny Garcia, a 3.3. Brisky, a 3.3. And here are those starters. 3.5 for Mora, 3.7 for Leonard, 3.9 for Rose. And it was Bobby White and Luzardo closer to 4. But we don't have any guys with a terrible FIP either. No one with a 5, no one with a 7, nothing like that. So that's how we did individually. Let's check on how we did adjacent to the league. So check out some league leaders and award winners. Here we go for the batting average leaders. Olsen and Chen are at the top. We'll see who won the batting crown when we get to that section, as they both have a 315 batting average. Hits went to Chen with 200. Nobody still with us. Doubles, the Dale Amador gets in there at 44 doubles for Hernando Tatis Jr. leads with 52. No one with us. None of our guys led in triples. Juan Soto, 43 home runs. Jazz Chisholm, 37 home runs. Some good seasons from O'Neal Cruz and James Wood. Just two of the biggest freaks out there. Juan Soto, again, an RBI, so not quite triple crown. James Wood, 118. Jazz Chisholm, 107 RBIs, leads us in third in the National League. Jared Kelenic in the Nationals scoring just a whole bunch of runs, and they did not make the playoffs, but they had a couple of All-Stars, and they just scored a whole bunch of runs. You have 4 guys in that top 5. Dylan Cruz, James Wood, Jared Kelenic, and Royce Lewis all getting in there, over 100. C.J. Abrams stole 40-plus bases, and Marshall Whalen, I think, in his first true rookie campaign, he would have surpassed the at-bat requirement, so isn't rookie eligible, but it's his pretty de facto rookie season. Came up in September the last couple of years, but this was his first real good rookie season. He might have won it if he was eligible for it. Walks, none of our guys. None of our guys went on base. Jazz Chisholm, 6th in slugging and 8th in OPS. In the pitching side of things, Kristen Mena, out of the bullpen, actually led the league in wins with 22. A really odd season. But he basically put up starter innings out of the bullpen. We'll see if how Cy Young people think about that, but just more weapons like that. Luzardo, only 6 losses. Calderon comes tied for 3rd in saves. Jose Hernandez, 54 of them. Dustin May, your ERA crown. Kyle Harrison right behind him. And Tanner Houck had a good year. First year with the Cubs. A fantastic second year with the Cubs. A 2.77 ERA. Luzardo right there at 8th behind Paul Skeens, the 3.30. Home runs allowed, we're not on this list. Shutouts, we're not on this list. Strikeouts, James Mora came in 3rd in strikeouts, and Bud Leonard came in 6th. Paul Skeens just dusting everybody. And Alexi Escobedo having his first, pretty decent season. This is a guy that got drafted number 1. We took Bud Leonard number 2, and Escobedo was my pick to be the guy. But 231 strikeouts in 168 innings. Absolutely crazy. What's that K per 9? That's a 12.33 K per 9, but he's walking 4 guys, giving up 1.5 home runs. So he's going to be a good player. See if he can just, get all those other areas of his games to catch up. Complete games, and Kyle Harrison led in that, and innings pitched by 1 out over Dustin May. Walks allowed George Kirby. Whip was Dustin May again. And pitching war, Kyle Harrison had that. Skeens and May all over 4. And then James Mora coming in as the 6th most valuable pitcher in the National League in his true rookie year. And he actually is eligible for rookie. He only had 32 innings pitched last year, so let's see if he gets any Rookie of the Year nominations. And batting war, Geraldo Perdomo, 8.1. Batting war, Jordan Lawler, Marcelo Meyer, Ethan Salas, all over 7. And again, our guys were kind of in those mid to high 5s. Stephen Kwan, 16th. That's where he comes in. In the American League, we'll start with batting average, and this is probably your MVP, best player in baseball right now, Jackson Holliday, an absolute stud. 333 average, led the league in hits. Doubles was his former teammate Gunnar Henderson. Triples was his current teammate, Thomas Valdez, and he was right there, up there in doubles, up there in triples. Let's see. He had 206 hits and had, 100 extra base hits. That's absolutely fucking absurd, dude. That's crazy. That's so nuts. But did not win the Triple Crown because Jace Young had 48 home runs this year. Wow. Okay, Jace Young robbing Jackson Holliday of the Triple Crown because he won an RBI and he led in home runs. And he was 3 home runs and 2 RBI shy, Jackson Holliday was, of a Triple Crown, but definitely the easy MVP guy has to be. Holliday up there in runs. Ramsey's Feldman led in stolen bases with 35. Brooks Lee, 95 walks. Tristan Casas on base percentage king. Jackson Holliday slugging and OPS king. Only one of 2 guys in the whole league to have an OPS over 1,000. And then the Orioles again doing it with pitching. Again, this is a team that won 80 games, still won the division. So that's crazy. Get this team in. Let Jackson Holliday carry you to some victories. You might actually see them make a little bit of a run. It'd be interesting to see what they do. Edward Cabrera, 17 wins. Jose Alvarado, 53 saves. Matt Brash in second with 46. Taj Bradley, the ERA crown, 2.54 ERA. So we had the best ERA in all of the land. Ken Waldichuk, 15 homers allowed, was the low. Alek Manoah had 4 shutouts. Does have a head fracture he suffered on one of the last games of the season. Hopefully he's going to be okay. Jack Barger, 269 strikeouts. He led everybody in 198 innings. Wow, that's an incredible number. What is that Ks per 9? That's a 12.23 Ks per 9. 269. That's nuts. That's a really, really big strikeout number. Led everybody by a decent amount, even over Paul Skeens, who he had strikeouts per 9 closer to 10. And Alexi Escobedo, if he had those innings, maybe he does reach that total. But Jack Barger, one of the top strikeout artists. Stefan Pena, Reed Detmers, Ricky Tiedemann, and all these guys had over 200, including Brady McCain, a guy that we were scouting a couple of years ago. Shane McClanahan led in innings pitched. Joe Ryan, 36 walks allowed was the low. Taj Badley, low and rip. Grayson Rodriguez, a 4.9 WAR. Brady McCain, a 4.6 WAR. Casey Mize, Reed Detmers, Shane McClanahan, Ricky Tiedemann, and Bryce Miller all around that 4 range in terms of WAR. And batting WAR is going to go to Jackson Holliday as the most valuable player in all of the league. Brooks Lee, a close second, and then a big drop-off between the Casases, the Carters, and the Soderstroms of the world. Here are your awards this season. Juan Soto, your National League MVP. We'll do National League and American League, then get out of here. I lied. That's a sneak peek. Cy Young Award goes to Dylan Cease. Interesting. They go with him. Matt Olson wins your batting title. Just, I guess, percentage points over Michael Chen, even though Chen had more hits. National League Reliever of the Year is Jose Hernandez. And Michael Chen wins the Rookie of the Year over James Morris. But that's back-to-back years we had a guy that has come in the top 3 of final voting for Rookie of the Year. Hank Aaron Award is Matt Olson. Here are your Gold Glovers. Any representation for us here? Nothing. Jazz Chisholm, 3rd in left field. And that is all. Silver Slugger, Yanquiel Fernandez, your Silver Slugger at DH. So another trophy to his trophy case. Matt Olson, first base. Adele Amador came in 3rd in second base. Silver Sluggers. Jazz Chisholm, the 4th outfielder, with James Wood, Sal Frelick, and Juan Soto winning there. For American League side of things, Jackson Holliday, the clear favorite for MVP, back-to-back. We'll see if they can keep him. They missed on Henderson. They missed on Rutschman. Can they keep Jackson Holliday in Baltimore? Christian Javier beats out Edward Cabrera, and honestly, it should have been Taj Bradley, but again, I guess anyone's voting on these, so who cares, I guess. Batting title, Jackson Holliday. Like we mentioned before, Jose Alvarado led in saves. He's up there. Barger, he gets the Rookie of the Year. And probably, just with those strikeout numbers, yeah, give it to him. Obviously, a 5.05 ERA. Let's see what Dexter Ross did. 37 doubles, 17 home runs, a decent triple slash, 720 OPS, and a 2.8 WAR. Yeah, I don't think this is like too egregious. I'll give it to Barger. That works. Just with those strikeout numbers alone. Hank Aaron was Jackson Holliday. Who else would it have been? Here are your Gold Glovers in the American League. Andres Jimenez, a perfect fielding percentage, because that's a super cool stat to use in 2029. And here are your Silver Sluggers. Wyatt Langford at DH. Soderstrom at catcher. Mayo at first base. Probably should have been to Casas. I would have given to Casas, but, whatever. Young at second base, obviously. Henderson at third base. And Jackson Holliday at shortstop. Outfield looks like this. Judge and Trout were the odd men out, with Mountcastle, Walker Jenkins, and Chase DeLauder winning those awards. We got Arizona next time. We're going to go on another World Series push, another playoff run. Can we do it? I sure hope so. We'll see soon here with some more Rockies.